Let's be honest, the world of business is changing at a dizzying pace. The old rulebook, it's pretty much been thrown out the window. From the top floor to the global economy, massive new forces are reshaping everything we thought we knew. So we're going to dive in and try to make sense of what this all means. And to kick things off, let's start with the person who really sums up this strange new reality we're in, Elon Musk. His story perfectly captures this bizarre, almost paradoxical logic that's taking over at the very top of the corporate ladder. I mean, read that again. It sounds completely insane, right? The worse the company does, the more the CEO should get paid. But believe it or not, this quote is the key to unpacking a really wild new way of thinking about executive pay. Yeah, this is what we're calling the superstar CEO paradox. We're going to get into the absolutely unbelievable saga of Elon Musk's compensation and what it really tells us about who holds the power in today's biggest companies. At the center of all this is a number that is just hard to wrap your head around. Over $50 billion. That was the sticker price on a pay package that was first approved back in 2018, and it's been the focus of this epic corporate and legal drama ever since. And man, has it been a roller coaster. It all started in 2018 when shareholders gave it the green light. But then, fast forward to early 2024, and a Delaware court says, nope, not legal, because the process was flawed. So what happens? Tesla shareholders vote to pack up, move the company's incorporation to Texas, and just approve the whole thing again. But wait, the Delaware court strikes it down again. Now the board's scrambling with a backup offer of, a mere $24 billion. But here's the really fascinating part. Musk himself has basically said this isn't about the cash. It's about control. He wants to own 25% of Tesla, enough to push forward his big plans for AI and robotics without having to worry about some activist investor coming in and trying to oust him. Basically doing to Tesla what he did to Twitter. This whole mess really brings two big economic theories crashing into each other. On one side, you have the idea that this is just the free market at work. You have to pay huge sums to get a once-in-a-generation talent like Musk. On the other side, there's the theory that powerful CEOs just use their influence over friendly boards to, well, extract massive paydays for themselves. The truth? It's probably a bit of both. Musk's unique pixie dust is a real asset, and that gives him the leverage to demand a package that looks an awful lot like extraction. Okay, so let's shift gears. We've talked about the power of one person at the very top. Now let's talk about the rising power of a company of one. There's a new wave of technology that's creating a totally new kind of entrepreneur. This image really nails it. AI is becoming your co-founder, your entire team, your first employee, all rolled into one. It's a total game changer. And it's led to this new buzzword, the solopreneur. So what does that look like in the real world? Well, let me tell you about Sarah Gwilliam. After her father passed away, she wanted to create a startup called Solace to help others with grief. She had no tech background at all, but she used an AI incubator called Autos, which pretty much acted as her tech co-founder, building out the entire business right alongside her. The advantages here are just incredible. You can literally build a company without knowing how to write a single line of code. You can automate almost everything, sales, marketing, you name it, and keep your costs super low. But maybe the most mind-blowing stat is this. One study found that a single person using AI can perform just as well as a two-person team. Think about that for a sec. And you can see this trend playing out in the data. This chart shows that startups are waiting longer and longer before they hire their first, second, and third employees. Founders are just able to do way more with way less for much longer than they ever could before. So we've seen how work is being done by fewer people, but the question of where that work gets done, well, that's a whole different battlefield. And that brings us to one of the biggest conflicts of the post-pandemic era, the fight over the office. And you can really feel the frustration in this quote. It's from an Amazon employee after the company ordered everyone back to the office full-time. That backlash was fierce, and it's the same tension playing out at companies all over the world. So, who's right? Should we be at home or in the office? Well, the problem is the data is just messy. You've got one study of data entry workers that found people at home were 18% less productive, but then you have another huge study that found absolutely no difference in performance for hybrid workers. There's just no easy answer. But even with all that conflicting data, a lot of bosses are doubling down. They argue that the office is absolutely essential for collaboration, for mentoring younger employees, and for building that all-important company culture. And they are dead serious. A recent survey found that 4 out of 5 bosses expect everyone to be back in the office 5 days a week within the next 3 years. Okay, so now let's pull the camera way, way back. We've gone from the CEO's office to the home office. Now let's look at the global stage, because the biggest new player rewriting the rules of business might just be the government itself. Just look at Germany. For decades, it was the undisputed industrial engine of Europe. But right now, if you talk to business leaders there, they'll tell you the country is being suffocated by high energy costs, taxes, and just crippling bureaucracy. And the result is shocking. Industrial output has dropped by a tenth in just 2 years. All this pressure is leading governments to step in and flex their muscles like never before. And we're seeing two very different playbooks emerge from the world's two biggest economies, China and America. Let's just break this down side by side. In China, you have Xi Jinping's state capitalist model. It's very systematic, very strategic. They literally embed the Communist Party inside private companies to make sure business serves political goals. It's great for control, but it can crush innovation. Then you have the US under Donald Trump, whose style is more like a Wall Street activist investor. It's unpredictable, it's transactional, using public callouts and personal deals to get short-term wins. The result is often chaos and a ton of uncertainty for businesses. So where does all this leave us? We're living in a world of superstar CEOs, tiny one-person corporations that can do amazing things, and powerful governments trying to call the shots. The old formulas for success are clearly broken, so the real question is, what's the new one? And are you ready for it?